The ancient Mesopotamia. We are going to listen to a song really quick, too. So you'll get another song. Let me go to it. Okay, so we have this song that we're going to listen to first. It's about 5 minutes long. So this might be kind of loud for those of you that are online, so maybe turn your volume down really quick so that it doesn't kill your ears. Those of you here, stay quiet. You're not very loud in general anyway, so that's good. Those of you online, keep your not your voices. What is it called? Your microphones down off so that it doesn't do the echoey thing. But this one is about producers. So we're going to talk about what a consumer and a producer and a decomposer are today. So here's a bit of a song that kind of introduces it a little bit. And again, we'll talk more in depth about it after. So here we go.
This one's about you and me, the plants and the trees. We're all right where we should be. Where the sun, changing the light. Yeah, it's amazing for you to see. Decomposers, it starts with producers. Any kind of breeze like that is making good from sunlight off. Using energy to make sugar flow goes like a syrup. Making wood, roots and bark, leaves in the trees. Produces photosynthesizing, growing, reproducing from the soil nutrients. Decomposing action. Need plants for ecosystem being building. Providing all energy, photosynthesis and killing. Where the plants start the whole process moving. Send them all the consumers you see. They are any organism that is feeding to live up. The main thing that they can't do is making their own food. Excuse me, they will be producers. They're feeding body, but they can eat fish and all kinds of fish. Possibly to be in their mouth or go like this. Some eat some of both. Take your pick, not the opposite. Consumers stay the same. Cause eat food depends on teeth. You know what when I tell you something, cause it is herbivores to do the stacking on plants, trees, leaves, cause the special stomachs adapting for digestion, grains, grasses, fruit, berries, vegetables, omnivores. How they do it, why they do it, was it cause they have moses inside their head to wait for things to drop, can't eat it, or is it cause they feast also on plants, balanced diet, yes, cause they can, yes, that's how they survive, you know it, what is it for say, good for such a short, feeding the soul, that's a thing, the energy shit is required, calories, you know it, why I got to eat daily TV, now let these ones be like an 8-year plate, or you make brain, and let it be known, this thing for, I wanna say for this to start, change, give more strength, herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores, they just ain't one's about you and me, the plants and the trees, we're all right where we should be, the bed is fine, we're changing the light, and it's made up of all you see, decomposers, consumers, it starts with producers. By the time you hear this, there will be some dead apples out. Organisms eating out the damn thing and chewing the waste within the body. Yes, they are like garbage, better really breaking down the thing over because they're known to eat it. And they ain't got to stop to eat it, better to tell you really the need of the plants used to change your cars, making the sugar, telling their all sizes and the shapes. I'm not eating the bacteria, all the way to shell boxes. Essentially, ecosystems without the waste piles up. So it's only right that they take their place in the system and yes, of course, as the biggest animal. See that they're all they need for many years. Don't stop all at the top. And we'll eat all the dead carcasses. It's about this scary problem. What goes up must come down. They'll just find something eating everything they eat like a skybox. I would have to out. That is right to down. Send you to the reverend in the pieces that we eat the dead cat. Yeah. Always breaking down all the way in half the time to all the fruit. You remember the food shades are in that long. The change started to left with apples. And they wanted to remind the kids, the plants, the animals, the producers, the I love the consumers, and then the decomposers, because from low to high. Putting in the system, but you ain't so realistic, so we use the rep really. That's right. Animals can have like a rep, like a rehab, and have really that. And if the next before, the ecosystem crumbles like a house and calls it back. Now we can see some stresses, some real deaths. You are not no man's right. That mysterious door has to be right. But tonight, maybe it's alright. So hold on tight. Let it shine. This one's about you and me. The plants and the trees, we're all right where we belong. The red is mine, shining the light, and it's waiting for you to see. Decomposers, consumers. It starts with
All right. That's kind
The
of
other one was better.
right to India.
The other one was way better, in my opinion. Is there an assignment for this one?
Yes, kind of. We're going to start with a few notes. So I'm pretty sure it already posted. So on Google Classroom, down in social, not social studies, what's it called? Science, thank you. There is a new one called Types of Organisms notes. Yeah.
Wait, why don't we have 23 kids in our class, not 24?
No, we got a new student in person.
Who is it?
Her name is Misty. Yeah. So now we have 24. But we're gonna open up the Google Slides. I already have it open, so you can open the slide, and then we're also gonna open up our notes sheet. We're gonna go kind of quickly so that we can get through some of this. It's just like yesterday. It should be word for word. Wow, this one's kind of long, but that's all right. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. All right, so types of organisms. Our first slide here. Am I on the right one? Yep. There are different kinds of organisms in an environment. And remember, an organism is just one single thing, living thing in an environment. So a monkey, a blade of grass, a mushroom, right? So there's different kinds of organisms in an environment. All organisms require energy in order to survive. Energy is used to fuel the processes in the organism's body. And organisms obtain energy from that food that they eat. Some organisms can make their own food, and other organisms consume plants and animals for food. What does it mean to consume something? If I consume something, you eat it. Good. Consuming means that you eat it. So some organisms will eat other plants and animals. Some create their own source of energy. So let's go ahead and go back and fill this out. I know some of you guys have already started, so you're going to have to call out what these answers are. So there are different kinds of what in an environment? Thank you. Organisms. Okay. All organisms require what in order to survive? Energy. Okay. Energy is used to blank the blank in an organism's body. What is this first blank? Energy is used to fuel. What is it used to fuel? Fuel the what? I got distracted by the noise on the computer. The what? Processes. Thank you. So if we're thinking about, let's say we're thinking about the organism as a jaguar, right? One single jaguar. They need energy in order to survive. Their energy comes from fuel, which is like their food. Whatever they eat is their fuel, so that the processes in their body work. So it's just like a human body where you need food to survive, right? And then it says organisms obtain energy from where? Food. Okay. Need food to get that energy. Some organisms do what with their own food? Anyone? Some organisms, they what? Make. Some of them make their own food, while other organisms do what to get their food? Consume. Good. Others consume the plants and animals for their food. So some have to eat other animals or plants. Others can just make their own food, and we'll talk more about that. Okay? Give you about 30 seconds on this part, and then we'll look at the next one. Alrighty. Put that over here. Looks good. All right. Our next slide. We classify types of organisms based on how they obtain their energy. So how they get their energy is how we classify organisms. There are three major types of organisms. The first one is a producer, which is also called an autotroph. The second one is a consumer, or a heterotroph. And the third one is decomposers, and they don't have another name, just decomposers. So those are the three main types of organisms. So let's go fill this out. That bullet point that I'm on right here, we classify types of organisms based on how organisms what? Obtain. All right. Obtain their energy, right? Good. So how they get energy is different based on if they are a different type of organism. And there are three types of organisms. I'm only going to write the main name of them, not the trough part. So what's our first type of organism? Producer. Good. What's the next one? Consumer. And our last one is called a, heard it, decomposer. Good. Okay, so we have a producer. Oh man. I was hoping I could do Control H to highlight and not have to click on the highlight every time. Wonder if you can highlight without clicking. I'll try it. Okay, so take about 30 seconds, fill those out. I'm going to Google on my phone really quick how to highlight without clicking because I'm kind of tired of clicking over and over again. Huh? Shift arrow? Okay. Yeah. That's good. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's look at our next part. We're going to talk about the producers now. So the first type of organisms. So on our producer slide, we have producers use energy from the sun to make their own food through a process of photosynthesis. In this process, the organisms convert water and carbon dioxide into sugar, which is specifically glucose, and the oxygen using energy from the sun. Producers are also called autotrophs. All plants are autotrophs. Algae are autotrophs as well, Algae are organisms that live in or near water. Essentially, any plant that you see anywhere is a producer. Okay? They create energy using photosynthesis. So they create their own energy. They don't need to eat anything else. So if we look at those bullet points, producers use what from the sun? Energy from the sun to make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. I'm going to try what? But now I want to be able to click something to highlight it blue. I have to do it this way? That's unfortunate. Okay, so I'm going to highlight these ones really quick. All right. Okay, our next bullet point. In this process, the organism converts what and carbon dioxide? Say it again. Water? Water and carbon dioxide into sugar, specifically glucose, and blank oxygen using energy from the sun. Perfect. Okay, I'll give you a couple of seconds, 30 seconds or so to do that one. All right. Producers are also called what? Yep, autotrophs. Good. And then it talks about different things that are autotrophs. All blank are autotrophs. All plants. The next one, blank are autotrophs as well. Algae? Yep. Algae. And those are organisms that live in or near water. Good. Perfect. Okay, about 30 more seconds on this one. Alrighty. I'm going to go look at that consumers slide next and read that one to you guys. So consumers, they cannot make their own food. Humans, us, we are consumers. We don't make our own food. Our body does not produce our own food. They have to feed on other organisms to attain food. So we have to eat other things to get food, whether it's meat, plants. That's really the only options, meat or plants. The food provides energy needed to power all the processes in the organisms. So we as humans need to eat plants and animals in order to gain the energy for our body to do anything, right? Consumers are also called heterotrophs. Consumers will feed on plants, animals, or the remains of dead or decaying animals. Doesn't that make eating meat sound great? The remains of dead or decaying animals? Yeah, we do eat that. Trying to make it sound gross, but all right. All animals are consumers. Any bacteria or many bacteria and protists, which are single-celled organisms, are consumers as well. Okay, let's fill that out. Consumers cannot what their own food? They cannot make their own. Oh, I already said it for you. Food. Good. Not make their own food. Am I going too quick or are we doing all right online? I think in person they're doing okay, but what about online? You guys doing all right?
Just copy and pasting and going.
Good. All right.
Like just copying, just going.
Good. That totally works for me. Just making sure we're still good. Okay. The next part, they feed on other what to obtain food? Other animals. Okay. The food provides what needed to power the what? Okay. The food provides energy needed to power all the processes inside the organism. Good. Oh no, I made that the wrong color. Good. What are consumers also called? Heterotrophs. Good. They're also called heterotrophs. Okay. Consumers feed on what three things? Plants. Next one. Animals and the remains of dead or decaying animals. Which again sounds splendid, doesn't it? Don't you all want to eat the dead animals? Exactly. I don't eat meat, so it sounds disgusting to me.
I mean, like if it died and it has like
The animal doesn't have to die. It could live a nice long life eating grass in a pasture as a cow. Cows don't get hunted. Yeah, and it's really sad. You know, driving to and from Winslow, all the time I see those empty slaughterhouse trucks, and I'm like, oh my God, there was like 100 cows on there that just died. Makes me so sad. Anyway. You don't need meat at all to survive. I've survived for 2.5 years without meat. You're good. Yep, you can do it. Other things give you things that meat gives you. Okay, anyway, all blank are consumers. Okay, focus back on this. We can talk about my vegetarianism later. All blank are consumers. All animals, thank you. All animals are consumers. Many blank and blank. Bacteria. Protists, is it Protists? Okay. Good. All right, I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to make sure you've got all of the consumer part done. All right. On our last part, decomposers. So I'm going to slide over to that slide, talk about it. Decomposers. Decomposers are really actually a type of consumer because decomposers will obtain the nutrients, I can't read what that says, from other dead organisms. No, not this. Larry, we're gonna do another part of the notes too. So we got one more thing after this. So decomposers are really actually a type of consumer because they have to eat the dead organisms to obtain any sort of nutrients for their cells. Decomposers are just a little bit different from consumers because they break down the dead organisms. They also break down any waste produced by the organisms. What is waste? It's what? The waste of an animal? Pretty sure you guys know what it is. Yeah. There we go. Poop. Yeah. Decomposers will eat the poop of animals. Decomposers are usually bacteria and things and like worms and stuff like that. Decomposers are super important to the ecosystem though. They return and recycle important nutrients and materials into that ecosystem. They prevent accumulation of dead matter in the ecosystem. So if these decomposers went around, if an animal dies, they just like stay there. But these decomposers help break down that body and put those nutrients and the important materials back into the ecosystem. So fungi, bacteria, and some worms are types of decomposers. Okay? All right, decomposers are really a type of what? Consumers. Good. Decomposers obtain nutrients from dead organisms. Okay. Decomposers are different from consumers because they blank. Good. They break down dead organisms. Oh, sorry, down. Okay, and then they also break down what? Waste, the poop. Gotta break that stuff down too, or else it's gonna smell terrible around here, right? So they break down the waste that is produced by organisms. Good. Decomposers are very important to ecosystems. They return or recycle nutrients and materials into an ecosystem. Good.
I finished this one.
Good. They prevent what of dead matter in the ecosystem? Good. Accumulation. So like the pileup of dead material. You don't want a lot of it chilling because that's kind of gross. Okay. And then our final thing here. Blank, blank, and blank. Good. Fungi, bacteria, and some worms. Good. Highlight these. Again, you guys can see these assignments after you turn them in. So if you have it all completed and you've been filling it out as we've gone along, thank you. Then you can turn this in and you will still be able to see it. But there's that last part. I'll give you guys about 30 seconds. You can get it turned in, and then we're going to do one more set of notes, and we'll probably be done for the day. The activity, I think, we'll start with tomorrow. That way it's a little bit of a break from notes. The one that didn't post yet, hopefully.
It already posted.
Yeah, I just deleted it though, so now it's gone. My dog is very good.
It's still on mine.
It's probably because you have to refresh the page.
The types of types of
Oh
consumer.
we're gonna do that. The types of consumers. There was another one that posted, but I deleted.
Yeah, it got taken off.
Yeah, don't do that one. No, wait, that's the consumers, right? Yeah, no, we're gonna do the consumers one. So once you're done with filling out this set of notes, you can get it turned in. I'm gonna close it and the organisms one. Okay. And we're gonna open up the types of consumers, do this one really quick, and we'll be done for the day. So I already have the PowerPoint open. Go ahead and open up the types of consumers, Google Doc. We'll probably be able to do some copy and pasting on this one. Okay. Types of consumers. Are we good? We there? Online? How you doing? Taking that as a good.
Good.
Good. So types of consumers. It says there are different types of consumers. What a concept, because we're going to talk about the different types right now. We classify types of consumers based on the kind of food that an organism eats. There are 4 different types of consumers: herbivores, omnivores, carnivores, and scavengers. Most of you guys are carnivores. Just saying. Not everybody. No, yeah, you're probably omnivores, yeah. But most of you guys are a variation of omnivore and carnivore. Okay? I'm a herbivore, yeah. Nobody in here is a scavenger, because scavengers eat gross things. Like actual dead things. Okay, anyway, types of consumers. There are different types of consumers. Let me zoom in a little bit, sorry. Different types of consumers. We classify types of consumers based on the kind of what? Of food an organism eats. And then it asks, what are the 4 types of consumers? So we need to type that out down there. Okay, first one, what's the first type of consumer? Good, a herbivore. Then we have what? Omnivore. The next one is carnivore. Good. Carnivore. And what's our last one? Scavenger. Good. So these are our 4 types of consumers. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of time to work on that, or do that one. All right. Then we have this chart to fill out. In this chart, we are going to describe the different types of consumers and give an example of each one. So I'm pretty sure our chart will give us that. First off, the first one is a consumer in general. Okay. What is a consumer? We're going to have to type this one out. A consumer is what? Doesn't necessarily say it on the PowerPoint, so we need to...
Someone who can't make their own, a thing that can't make their own food.
Good. It's an organism that cannot make its own food. So how does it get energy? So that would be a producer. They get energy from the sun. But how does a consumer get energy? Good. So it has to eat other organisms. Okay. And an example of a consumer. What let's just list two examples of a consumer. What do you guys think of as a consumer? Something that has to eat other organisms.
Lion.
A lion. What else?
Tigers.
Tigers.
Rabbits.
Jaguars. I was gonna say bears. Oh my.
Miss Jones, I just put. Is it okay if I can put something that can't make their own food?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You can put a lot of things here. A rabbit. Lots of things. Literally any animal you can think of, pretty much, is a consumer. But those are a few examples right there. I'll give you a minute or so to type that out. Alrighty. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Let's look at the herbivore one. So our
Can I
next one.
copy and paste for the second scavenger slide?
There you go.
Can I copy and paste for the second scavenger slide? The seventh.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
All right, so herbivores. We have herbivores feed on plants only. They feed on leaves, stems, seeds, pollen, or nectar. Herbivores are also known as primary consumers. This means that they are the first consumer in a food chain. We'll talk about food chains soon. Examples would be a butterfly, grasshopper, ants, deer, rabbits, cows, horses, giraffes, elephants, anything that eats plants only. Elijah, did you have a question? If you're done, yeah. So the definition of an herbivore, we can copy straight from here. So I'm going to copy and paste that over. And then make it a lot smaller.
Can I turn it in?
Yeah, if you finish it up, you can turn it in. And then our examples were on that slide as well. You can copy and paste all of them if you'd like to, or some of them. But yeah. Okay, so there's our herbivores. Give you 30 seconds or so to copy and paste that over.
Wait, do we copy and paste the whole slide?
You don't have to do the whole slide. We just need to know
I
what
just did the
Go ahead.
herbivore part. Herbivores feed on plants only. They feed on leaves, stems, seeds, pollen, or nectar. That's the only part I did.
That makes sense. That's fine with me.
I
As
just
long
put
as
the
you
first
tell me,
bullet point on it for everyone.
yeah. As long as you tell me what the type of carnivore is, like what they eat, and then you give me a few examples, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Let's look at omnivore, our next one. This one, omnivores feed on plants and animals. They have a very diverse diet that consists of plant material as well as animals. Most humans are omnivores. Huh? Mm-hmm. That's good. If I don't really know a lot of humans that only eat meat. They still at least eat some form of vegetables at some point, which is a plant. So most humans are omnivores unless they're vegetarian, then they are a herbivore. So for this one, we can pretty much copy and paste the whole thing because it talks about examples as well. Mammals are omnivores. That includes humans, and most birds are omnivores as well. So I'm just going to copy and paste this whole slide over. and make it a lot smaller.
Should I just sit here and wait?
Yeah, and just listen. We're pretty much done. We're gonna finish up these last two. So carnivores, let's look at that one. We have carnivores feed only on animals. In fact, carnivore literally means meat eater. Carnivores obtain food from other animals by predation, so they prey on other animals. Some main examples are going to be lions, tigers, wolves, coyotes, owls, hawks, sharks, and snakes. So I'm going to take the first and the third bullet point on this one. Okay, so there's that one. Carnivores will eat only other animals, no plants really thrown in there.
Did you know a skunk is an omnivore?
I did, because they will eat, like...
Or coyotes.
Yeah. All right. Our last one here.
Plants, too.
Yep. The last one here is scavengers. We have that scavengers feed on dead or decaying plants and animals. They do not hunt anything. Instead, they consume leftover dead remains or decaying plant material. Some scavengers feed on the waste that is produced by organisms as well. And then some scavengers consume food from sources that would otherwise go to waste in an ecosystem. So they eat the things that are going to go to waste. I'm just going to take the first sentence of the first bullet point and copy and paste that over. Okay. Then it says some examples here are vultures, crows, hyenas, raccoons, beetles, crabs, and lobsters. These are all examples of scavengers.
Instead of beetles, it's deedles, like the movie Meet the Deedles.
I don't think I know that movie.
Oh, it's just two brothers that it's just a funny movie on Disney Plus.
Okay, I'll have to look into it. All right. And then we have one last question to fill out here. How are decomposers different from scavengers? And that's that last slide over here. Decomposers are similar to scavengers. They obtain the nutrients from the dead organisms. However, the decomposers will break down the dead organisms in the plants rather than eating it. So they break it down and not eat it. They also break down waste produced by organisms, and they break down this material into organic matter. Organic matter is rich in nutrients. So how are decomposers different than scavengers? What is the difference there? Yeah, they break down the dead animals. They decompose them instead of what? Instead of eating them. The decomposers... Okay, I'm going to get rid of all the lines.
You could just copy and paste it.
I could. Decomposers break down the dead material instead of eating it like scavengers do. All right. So once you get this chart filled out, I think that's it, right? Yep. And you've answered that question on the bottom, then you will be good to go. We will continue. We'll do the activity at the beginning of class tomorrow for science instead of right now. So yeah, that'll be all for today. If you guys are online, I'm pretty sure I have everybody for. Yep. All right. So yeah, if you're online, you guys are more than welcome to head out, and we will see you at 8 o'clock for ELA tomorrow. Bye. Those of you here, finish up and then work on whatever you need to be working on, whether it's ELA from this morning, finishing up the math from this afternoon, things like that. Bye, guys that are online. Bye. Bye, Phil.